Canadians doing here trying to kill the Vietnamese? What did they ever do to you? And he looked at me and he said, get the hell out of here. And I took that as a, hey, you're doing a great job, you know, continue. And I did. Yeah, and, you know, Richard, there was a fragging incident on my base. And I didn't realize until just recently, after reading the book Nixon and the Vietnam War, that, see, what part of my activities in Vietnam was not only passing out anti-war literature, talking to GIs. I was like a correspondent. I would write articles that I thought would interest GIs. I'd listen to GIs, their stories, and I'd write those letters to anti-war newspapers. And there were not hundreds, but there were many, many, many newspapers all over the United States, Vietnam, every base where the United States was. There were anti-war newspapers and coffee houses. But a year after our fragging incident, and my letter to anti-war newspapers, in the Americal Division alone, there was a fragging a week. Now, the military is not going to tell you the truth. When they say a fragging a week, that there are probably many, many more. But that's what stopped the Vietnam War. It was the soldiers in Vietnam refusing to continue an illegal, immoral war. It was the protesters in the United States and the world. And it was, of course, the Vietnamese people who were never going to give up the struggle to throw the invaders out of their land.
All right, Ron. Insightful. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate the call. Mary is in New Jersey on the wild card line. Mary, good morning.
Hello, Richard. When I was a child, the Bible was read to me. It had to be like 1611 or older. And after I heard it and I believed it, then they would tell me stories. And one of the stories, I don't know if it goes back, like it was passed on from Noah. It's about God walking around incognito before the flood. He's making a decision for himself. And he's walking with a unicorn. And if you go near to God and you have ill intentions, the unicorn goes after you and you get the horn. So I was asking questions and nobody's ever heard these stories. And it turns out that this unicorn turns out to be a seraphim in disguise as a unicorn. And as a child, I'm thinking, were there unicorns? And the seraphim was disguised as one? Or all seraphims unicorns? And I'm thinking, nah, they have to be unicorns. So then I asked about the seraphim. Somebody said to me, did you know a seraphim was a warrior angel? I said, no. If I heard that, I didn't remember it. And they have talons like an eagle. I said, I don't remember hearing that one. So there's a lot of stories out there. And I'm wondering, did Shakespeare put on plays about any of these things? About God walking around before the flood with the horned unicorn? I'm wondering.
Not familiar with a Shakespeare play about that. No. I am not familiar with any of Shakespeare's works having to do with, pre-flood and unicorns or anything like that.
Well, somebody passed that around. It didn't come out of thin air. So, yeah, there's a lot of stories. Very interesting.
Indeed. Mary, thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, let's go west of the Rockies, and Jerry is in Kent, Washington. Hey, Jerry, welcome.
Hi, Richard. Great show. Very intrigued by you talking about the movie Talk Radio.
Talk Radio, right. Eric Bogosian.
Yeah. Are you aware that's taken from a true story?
Well, it's based on Barry Champlain's life. Barry Champlain, it wasn't Barry Champlain, but it's based on this. I think he was a talk show host out of Denver.
Yes, and I knew him. I was on a show quite often. His name was Alan Berg.
Oh, that's it, Alan Berg, yes. He was in Denver, right?
Yeah, and it was an incredible story. Well, there's a book out of print, unfortunately, but I got mine on eBay. It's called Talk to Death by Stephen Singular. Highly recommend it. If you were taken by the movie, you will see what actually happened. And a lot of those scenes in the movies were true. The basketball, where he was just booed off the floor. Right. I was at that event because I was a big fan of his, and even a friend. He was a very, very interesting person. He was a criminal lawyer, left Chicago because he couldn't stand protecting the mob anymore, moved to Denver for some reason, just to get away from it all. But his personality was so magnetic that the owner of a radio station walked in to buy some shirts where Alan was working. He ended up hiring Alan on the spot. Who never heard of that? And Alan went on to be the #1 rated show, in the market, even though he was hated for some reason. And had he gone to New York, that's where he belonged. But he went to Denver, and a lot of those rednecks couldn't put up with him, but yet they tuned in and listened. And the neo-Nazis got to him, unfortunately, and this was in 1984. But I thought if you could read the book, your mouth will drop, because it's just this incredible story. And the film covers it. Some people think I'm that hippie little kid that, with the, I was on the show a lot, but I wasn't that hippie kid.
Right. I remember that character, yes. Right.
Yeah,
So, Taught to Death by Stephen Singular.
Singular, yes. And tremendous, written, well written. And the story itself is just, these Nazis thought by killing Alan Berg it was going to start a race riot, which back in the 80s seemed to be the thing from what was called the Turner Diaries. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. But that
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, it's famous. There's a guy named Turner wrote a manifest about how if we attack the Oklahoma City bombing was done on, I don't have the exact date, but around Hitler's, everything's around Hitler's birthday. Columbine was on Hitler's birthday, and they thought by killing Alan Berg would somehow trigger a war, a race war, which of course it didn't. And they came back up to northern Idaho, and the FBI picked up on their trail. These guys actually shot their way out of a motel, which is in the book. It tells about the FBI had the motel surrounded. These guys had so much firepower that they got out. And they went on then and robbed 2 armored vehicles and amassed $4 million in about 6 months. It's an incredible story. And the idea was to buy an Exocet missile underground. And if they had the missile, they could fire it off the shore of Washington at a Russian warship, which is 3 miles out, the limit. And the Russians would see this on their scope and fire back. This is all for real.
Sounds like something right out of a James Bond movie. Thank you for telling me about Alan Berg. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's go to the wild card line. We have time, I think, for 1 or 2 more. Eric. Eric is trucking in Indiana. Hey, Eric, welcome to Coast.
Richard! Hey, this is Eric, the mind control guy. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, Eric.
Anyway, the movie that changed my life was the movie Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts. And how it changed my life was it started unlocking the sealed vaults in my head to where I ended up getting my memory back about all the horrifying things that happened to me when I was a young soldier in the service. And what I'm referring to is I didn't know it at the time when I was a young soldier until I started getting my memory back years later and met other people that verified, and 3 people that remembered me, that I was an actual mind control test subject and a project called the Mind Altering Research Study that came after the Central Intelligence Agency's MK Ultra. And the stuff that they did to us made the stuff that happened at Abu Ghraib seem like a day at Disneyland by comparison. In fact, a lot of the tests that we went through, a certain amount of them, a man who opened up to me one day, who was a former Special Forces Ranger, those guys, at least at that time, they did a lot of these tests in Ranger School as part of what they call the fear factor phase that's not acknowledged to the public. But that mind-altering research study was basically the tip of the iceberg for many horrifying experiments that they did later on. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't survive it. Many people ended up in mental institutions or died in testing, and their families are told fairy tales. But that movie, Conspiracy Theory, was the one that completely changed my life, and it affects me still today.
Wow. How did you survive?
I have no idea. I have no idea how I survived. But the thing is, it's like they have a way to erase your memory. The problem is their stuff doesn't always work as good as it's supposed to. In fact, the mind-altering drug they give you puts you in a sedated state. And a lot of the guys, unfortunately, the stuff didn't work on them, and they came out of their sedated state during a really sadistic test. And I'm sure you've heard the term being scared to death. Well, that's what happened to these guys, and that's why they either ended up brain fried or died in testing, just absolutely petrified of what was going on. And the main doctor, Dr. Gorman, he was such a sadistic individual that within the realm of mind control doctors throughout the decades, he was known as the twisted of the twisted of mind control doctors, and he ended up going to prison in 1986. And he was so unbelievably sadistic. I'm thinking, how could they employ such a sadistic individual? And I don't know if the Congress and the Senate and the people that approved for this testing and this project that went on, I don't really know if they were let in on exactly what was the real horrifying things that were going on. And the project was finally shut down in 1990 because of an event called the incident in the barracks, and where a young soldier went up before a simulated firing squad. Now, he wasn't going to be executed. He just thought he was, but he came out of his sedated state, and it just completely scrambled his brain, and he ended up getting a hold of M16 or some kind of semi-automatic rifle and shot up the barracks wherever he was at, and that's when they had to shut down the project.
All right, Eric, thank you for the update. Great, always great to hear from you. Conspiracy theory opened up some memories and perhaps some old wounds as well. Thank you for that. Thank you all for your wonderful calls, and I'll be back again tonight to do it all over again. For George Norrie, George Knapp, Lisa Lyons, Stephanie Smith, Tom Danheiser, Dan Galanti, Chris Burrows, and Sean Lattisaur, I'm Richard Serra. Thank you for your ears and your voices, your beautiful voices. So long for now.
We've all been through some crazy times, and who knows what'll happen next. So, maybe you should prepare for the unexpected. With today's low mortgage rates and rising home values, why not refinance with Owning and pull tens of thousands out in cash? It's quick and easy. Just call 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com. In minutes, Owning will tell you how much money you may have just sitting in your home's equity. You can then refi, pay off some debt, and put a big chunk of cash in the bank so you're ready for whatever comes next. No sweat. And do it now, while Owning is still offering 30-year fixed refis with rates and APRs in the twos.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Call 833-524-6464 for terms and conditions.
call 833-2-OWNING or owning.com. That's 833-2-OWNING or owning.com.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
Hey, good morning, my early rising friend. I am Dean Sharp, the house whisperer, custom home builder, custom home designer. It's almost 6 o'clock, and for the next 2 hours, that means I'm going to be here with you as a friendly voice in your morning and your personal guide to turning your ordinary house into an extraordinary home. It all gets started in just a couple of minutes, so stay tuned and welcome home. This is KFI and KOC HD2 Los Angeles, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Whether you love us, hate us, or haven't made up your mind, we're glad you're here. KOSC HD2
Los Angeles,
live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The health order requiring face masks in LA County will go into effect at 11:59 tonight. The order requires people to wear masks indoors, even if a person is fully vaccinated against the virus. Health officials say the mandate is in response to the increase in new COVID-19 cases, most of which are the most contagious Delta variant. A judge in LA is sentenced the man known as the Hollywood Vicar to death.
Michael Gargiulo was only caught after Michelle Murphy fought him off in her apartment in 2008. The DNA evidence left behind linked him to the killings of Maria Bruno and Ashley Ellerin. Murphy's husband looked only at his notes as he recounted the long process that brought Gargiulo to justice.
The name of the defendant won't be mentioned because it will exist simply as a footnote to our history.
Prosecutors attempted to read a letter from District Attorney George Gascon stating his opposition to the death penalty yesterday. It was an act criticized by the father of Ellerin.
He has no business inserting a political letter, not a legal opinion, into my daughter's case record.
In L.A., Chris Ancarlo, KFI News.
The CDC says coronavirus cases in the U.S. are up by 70%, mostly in areas where vaccination rates are low. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said communities that are fully vaccinated are going well, especially against the Delta variant.
There is a clear message that is coming through. This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Dr. Walensky said more people need to get vaccinated to keep COVID under control in the U.S. People could once again eat a waffle cone stuffed with mac and cheese and buffalo chicken at the OC Fair, then jump on one of several new spinning rides. Chicken Charlie says he's also deep-fried a brownie dipped in buffalo sauce and topped it with ice cream.
And then we brought back a bunch of favorites from the past, the fried Oreos, the bacon wrapped pickle, the Krispy Kreme triple-decker, the Maui chicken and the naked shrimp out of a pineapple shell.
People have to pick the day they're going in advance and then buy non-refundable tickets online. A zombie lawsuit that wouldn't die has finally reached a settlement.
AMC Networks has agreed to pay $200 million to settle a lawsuit originally filed in 2013 over profits from the hit The Walking Dead TV show. Executive producer Frank Darabont and creative artist agency LLC will have their existing rights from the show and its spin-offs bought out by the cable channel. Darabont and CAA will still keep their profits from streaming deals. AMC is still facing another lawsuit over profits from The Walking Dead's creator, Robert Kirkman, and other show producers. Brian Berman, KFI News.
Trouble on the 14.
It's an accident on the 14 northbound at Crown Valley Road. That's an accident that's got a vehicle that went over the embankment. It's still blocking the right shoulder. In Silmar, the 210 west and McClay Street. That's a crash involving an overturned Jeep on its side that's in the left lane. South El Monte, 605 north at the 60 freeway. It's a crash involving another overturned vehicle. And then finally, there's the pull of the pass on the 405 north at Getty Center. That's an accident that's been moved to the right shoulder. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Zachary Tagan.
It's going to be a scorcher. More on that next.
When it comes to your identity and keeping it safe, the folks at LifeLock want to make sure that your information stays secure. So let's say during the pandemic, or even now, you're working overtime, you're saving your money, you're paying off your debt, and now some identity thief wants to steal your information. This is why LifeLock by Norton helps monitor your information and alerts you to potential identity threats. And if you do become a victim, a dedicated U.S.-based specialist will be there to help fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction, every business. But when identity thieves try to take what's yours, you don't have to take it lying down because there's LifeLock. Save up to 25% off your first year. Call 800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com, promo code HANDLE. That's lifelock.com, promo code HANDLE, or call 800-LifeLock, promo code HANDLE. Once again, that's promo code HANDLE for 25% off at lifelock.com.
Southland weather from KFI. Mostly sunny for today. Highs from the low to mid-70s at the beaches to low to mid-80s inland. Highs in the mid-80s to mid-90s for the valleys. Highs in the 90s for the IE and inland OC. Sunday, brace for a bit of a shift with temperatures dropping into the 60s and 70s with mostly cloudy skies and a chance for rain. In Anaheim at 68, Laguna Beach 67, Diamond Bar 64, and Cerritos 68. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Claudette Stefanian.
AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Good Saturday morning to you, my friend, and welcome home. I'm Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, custom home builder, custom home designer, here live with you like I am every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 and Sundays from 9 to 11. Why? To be an advocate for you as you wrestle with construction issues regarding your home. To be a design mentor for you because design matters most when it comes to transforming your home. And just to be a friend, friendly voice. Take on the noble work of turning your ordinary house into something extraordinary. You need some friendly voices around you. And I would like to throw my hat in the ring and be the first one. The team is all here. Misty is taking the weekend off because, well, she deserves it. And so Morgan is with us this morning. Good morning, Morgan.
Howdy, morning, y'all. How are you?
We are awake. Yeah.
I think you're more awake than me.
I don't know. That remains to be seen.
We'll find out.
I tell you what's not awake. My left nostril. My left nostril is not awake. I don't know what that means exactly. It's just, I just can't get it. I can't get it going. Thank you. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's a relief. Sam is on the board as per normal. My best buddy in the world is sitting across the table from me. Tina, good morning, my love.
Good morning.
It's a low-y morning. I can just tell. And Claudette Stefanian is on the news.
Good morning. How are you?
Now, you sound the most awake of all of us.
I know, I think I'm a bit much. I need to tone it down because it's like I'm not even, I don't know why. I'm trying to bring some energy. I'm attempting.
No, keep doing that. We all need that. We all need that.
We will rise to that.
All right. Let's get to it. You know what? We're going to enjoy some very interesting conversation this morning, I think, because this is what I want to talk to you about. This weekend, our two shows are going to be centered around design thinking, and that always makes me very happy. Today, the enemies of good design. The enemies of good design. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow's show? Oh, details that make a big difference. Design details that make a big difference. Design details that are normally overlooked by the majority of people, even folks who are doing remodels, and it shouldn't be. And the kinds of things that can make a striking overall difference in your home. But today,
we'll start a little bit on the negative side, but always, always, always to build you up and to equip you to have the best experience possible. So with that, let us begin, shall we? The first item on the list of enemies of good design, expediency. Now, people react differently when I mention this to them, that expediency is something I want nothing of on a job site, on a project whatsoever. None of it. I want none of it. And quite often people react to that saying, well, you just want this thing to take forever, and you don't want things to flow in the best possible order, in the best possible timing. Not true. Not true at all. Efficiency and expediency are two very, very different concepts. Efficiency is the logical progression of an organized train of thought and activities that make things move as smoothly as possible. That we always want that. Always want that. Every project needs it. Every project could use more of it. Okay? But expediency, let me share with you what the dictionary definition of expediency is, and you'll understand then what my issues are. Webster's defines expediency as convenience and practicality at the cost of being improper or immoral. Yeah. So, some of us just use expedient in the wrong context. That's all I'm saying. To do the most expedient thing usually means that we're not pouring enough effort into it. We just want to get a decision made. Just get whatever, Dean, whatever. Let's just do whatever. And that always, in terms of the overall design of a project, has a cost to it. Expedience has a cost. It's a shortcut. And as I believe John Maxwell once said, now a famous quote, the longest distance between 2 points is in fact a shortcut. It's just never a good idea to take a shortcut. So when it comes to the design of your home, we need to slow it down. Slow it down, think it through. And, I try my best. Sometimes I just can't get a client to slow down and to really process. And, honestly, admittedly, maybe sometimes clients don't want to process a thing. I get it. That's part of the reason why I'm there, because at that point, I'm like, well, okay, you're not going to think this through. Would you let me think it through and make the decision for you? I will do that a few times on a project, but I have a limit. And when that limit is reached, we have to have a talk. And the talk is simply, hey, this is your home. This is for you. And if I can't get you thinking about what is really a priority for you, then you're not going to be ultimately as happy with it as you would otherwise be if you thought it through. So I think today, we are raised in a fast food culture. We're raised in a time where it's just like, go, just get it done, let's have this done. People get inspired to do a remodel on their home, and they want to start work tomorrow, and they want it finished by next week. And I get that, but I'm just letting you know, that's not reality, nor should it be. The greatest architectural works in human history, you can measure them in one sense, time. They take time. Now, I know, I'm not trying to overblow your kitchen remodel. It's the greatest architectural achievement in... No. But what I am saying is, it's for you. I was actually giving a consult to an architect this week, and he brought up a really good point as we were talking about this subject. He said this, most homeowners have one big remodel in them. And I think that's pretty accurate. Most people aren't remodeling their home 5 or 6 times. And not even 3 times, not even twice. Most people have one big remodel in them. You're going to be living with the consequences of those remodel decisions for decades. So, my point is, slow down. Think it through. Expediency, convenience and practicality at the cost of being improper. Expediency is an enemy of good design. All right, that gets us started. We've got so much more to talk about, including taking your calls today, and we will get back to it all when we return. I am so glad you joined me this morning. So much more to come. You're listening to Home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, Claudette Stefanian.
A health order requiring face masks in LA County will go into effect at 11:59 tonight. The order requires people to wear a mask indoors, even if a person is fully vaccinated against the virus. Rapper Biz Markie has died. The rapper known for the hit Just a Friend died yesterday. He was 57 years old. Health officials in Nevada are advising people to mask up again. The Southern Nevada Health District says the rising COVID-19 cases and the drop in vaccination rates in Las Vegas and the rest of Clark County were the reasons behind the recommendation. We've got a crash in South El Monte next.
I am thrilled that you may be ready for your new dream kitchen. What is your first move going to be? I think it should be a totally free in-showroom consult with the good people at the kitchen store. That means you get two things right out of the gate. You get the creativity and the wisdom of an expert kitchen designer. And since design matters most, that's what matters most. And you're going to get that while you're being flooded with inspiration and information in the kitchen store's 7,000 square foot cabinet design showroom. There's nothing like it in all of Southern California. Every feature, every color, every style of cabinetry available right there for you to witness, for you to play with, for you to understand so that you can choose what's going on in your kitchen and what isn't. The kitchen store is right off the 405 in Culver City. For more than 50 years, it is the best place for kitchen cabinets in all of Southern California. State-of-the-art computer design, 12-month famous cash financing, pricing that beats even the big box centers. So start your new kitchen right. Set up your free consult today by dialing 310-KITCHEN. That's 310-KITCHEN, and check out the kitchen store on the web at 310kitchen.com.
Badland weather from KFI. Mostly sunny for today. Highs from the low to mid-70s at the beaches to low to mid-80s inland. Highs in the mid-80s to mid-90s for the valleys. Highs in the 90s for the IE and inland OC. From your Southern California Toyota dealer, let's check in on that crash in South El Monte.
It's on the 605 northbound at the 60. It's a crash involving an overturned vehicle that's blocking multiple lanes. In Compton on the 710 south of the Alondra, that's a crash involving a big rig that's blocking the middle lanes there. In Acton on the 14 north at Crown Valley Road, it's an accident. It's got a vehicle that went over the embankment. It's moved to the right shoulder. Silmar 210 west at McClay Street. That's a crash involving another overturned vehicle in the left lane. And there's a pole of the pass 405 north at Gettysburg. It's an accident to move to the right shoulder. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Zachary Kagan.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Connect has amazing prices for everything on your back-to-school list. Right now, 8 packs of Pep Rally number 2 pencils, Staples pencil cap erasers, and Staples composts are just 50 cents each. Offer ends 9/18/21. Pencils available in-store only. Offers may vary online. Staples.
Before I started Rooter Hero Plumbing, I was an angry young man. Hello, I'm John McClan. I was angry because my dad died when I was 17 and he left me alone. I was angry because I couldn't go to college with my friends. And because I had to drop out of high school. It's not a pleasant story. But as I grew older, I also grew up. I realized that my dad didn't leave me alone. He left me with values and principles that continue to shape my life. Dad said be on time. He didn't like it when people were late. He taught me to be polite. It was something I lost, but recaptured along the way. And he taught me to keep my promises, because broken promises lead to broken relationships. We teach and keep these values at Rooter Hero Plumbing. I think we have a pretty good company. I know we have great people. And if one of our heroes fails to live up to these values, please call me. My private number is on the back of every Rooter Hero business card. You can also reach us at rooterhero.com. Thank you.
All right, I've been trying to think lately of the best way to describe to you what life is like if you get a whole house water filtration system from Light Source Water. The trick is life gets really normal and natural and easy, and that's probably the best way to describe it. Summer's here, we're trying to reopen. Everybody's talking about life starting to feel natural and easy again. So there you go.
When you have a whole house water filtration system from Life Source Water, there's no more trips to the store to buy water in plastic bottles. When you're thirsty, you just turn on a faucet. Any faucet in your house. It means there's no filters to replace, no maintenance of any kind. It helps with hard water problems. It reduces the odor and the taste of chlorine. Natural and easy means drinking and cooking and bathing in essentially spring water. So let Life Source transform all the water in your home into what you always hoped it would be. Natural and easy and delicious. Call Life Source today. 800-334-5009. 800-334-5009 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference.
Hey everybody, Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. In fact, over 1 million homeowners took advantage of refinancing or buying a new home with Rocket Mortgage. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase again, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. With an official mortgage review from Rocket Mortgage, you'll see just how much money you could save by making a move right now. Don't look back over these next few weeks and wish that you had taken action. You could save hundreds on your mortgage payments or pay off your home loan earlier than planned. You could even take cash out of your home to pay off high-interest debt, complete home repairs, or bulk up on an emergency fund. When you want to secure a low rate, Rocket can. Call 833-8-ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day. It is heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Near historical low mortgage rates won't last long. If you're buying a new home, go with a lender you can count on for competitive rates, low fees, over 300 loan products, and thousands of loan consultants to help make sure you get the home you want. Call now for your no-obligation pre-approval. 866-888-LOAN. 866-888-LOAN. Or go to LoanDepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states. For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules.
Water fire chiefs in Southern California worried about.
We're once again in a drought, and the vegetation is extremely dry.
This is Steve Gregory. Join me for A Season of Fire, a KFI News special on this year's wildfire season. And for the first time, we gather chiefs from the major departments to discuss readiness and what to expect this year.
KFI News presents
Tonight at 9
on KFI.
KFI. Team Sharp, the House Whisperer. That got Tina's shoulders shifting a little bit there. I saw that. I saw it. You can't hide that. You were... Was that a shimmy? That was a shimmy. That was a shimmy. She's like classic move. Check. Got Dean's attention. Check. Hey, you're listening to Home, where every week we help you better understand that place where you live. We are in the middle of a conversation about the enemies of good design. The things that I really need you to think about and process through as we get your project rolling. Because I don't want you to do these things. I want you to avoid them at all costs because I want you to have the absolute best results from your own remodel or a new build, whatever it is that you're doing with your home. I want you to have the absolute best possible results. And so we're going to stay away from these things.